Welcome back. The saga continues. I've got the re-sealed engine. It's not rebuilt. I just went through and put new gaskets on it, checked all the torques on the rod bolts, mains, all that stuff. Everything looked good. Put new gaskets on everything. I'm going through and replacing all the hoses, all the junky factory hose clamps like these, the wire ones. I hate those things. The only ones that are worse are the little spring type. So needless to say, all those are coming off. All new hoses everywhere I can, so that I don't have to worry about anything blowing out. Just putting all the accessories and stuff back on, hooking the wires back up. I just got done putting the starter on. This little water neck piece which goes into the back of the water pump, which distributes water to the radiator, to the heater core. This one goes up to the intake because it's got a loop going through it. The other heater hose goes from the intake back. A lot of stuff to hook back up. Luckily I labeled all the wires and stuff. And then I probably got the best resource of all. A second one to look at in case something befuddles me and I don't know where it goes. I've had a couple of wires on here that I marked, but the tape fell off so I couldn't see. So this has been a really good resource to come over and check out and see what's what. Everything seems to be the same as far as the hookups, the intake, pretty much everything. The only difference in this one and the one that I have is this is an automatic and mine's a 5-speed. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. I got the new the resurfaced flywheel. I cleaned the clutch disc and everything out. I did replace the throwout bearing and the pilot bearing while I had it apart. Cleaned the starter up, checked it. Trying to put everything back clean and painted, so if I have any oil leaks or any issues, I'll know where they're at. So with that, I'll bring you guys back when I got a little bit more to show you. See you soon. Okay, a little bit further along. Got the intake manifold put on, got it all bolted up. That was kind of a chore, especially trying to get to the ones underneath here. You got to kind of reach your hand up between the radiator hose, the lower radiator hose, and the alternator to get to the bolts, but I managed to worm my way in there and get them tightened up to the specified torque settings. Got the heater hoses installed, which wasn't too bad actually. Got a little bit more room between this and most vehicles. And the firewall. The exhaust manifold worked up pretty well. Bolts for the downpipe are underneath here. They weren't too awful bad to get to. I could reach them from the top side. Excuse me, frog in my throat. Even the heat shield bolts, surprisingly enough, after I soaked them in that PB Blaster, I was able to get those loose and put the heat shields and stuff back on. Got the spark plugs in it. Still got to mount the reservoir for the power steering pump. I got all that put on there. So really all that's left is put the fan, the radiator, the fan shroud, the pulley, both the belts, the intake, which I took off and cleaned it. Had a lot of oil residue, I guess, from the PCV valve here blowing into it. So I cleaned it out real good. I cleaned the throttle body good, and I'm getting ready to mount all that back on top of it. So probably a couple of hours my time. Probably the next video you see will be me putting a battery on it, attempting the first startup of the engine in the vehicle. So I'll be sure and bring you guys back in and let you see what's going on and see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't fly into pieces again like it did the other motor. If it does, you'll probably see an abrupt end of the camera as I send it across the yard over here. So I'll bring you guys back whenever I got more to show you. See you in a few. Welcome to April in East Tennessee. It was 70 some odd degrees last week. Now we're getting sleet, and they're calling for possibility of inch and a half of snow here tonight. So you never know around here what you're going to get. It's like Forrest Gump said. I'm trying to get the breather and stuff put back on this thing so I can get it cranked up, do a first startup video for you guys. But the weather's not seeming to cooperate too much with me. I'm going to try and wait it out and see. I don't have much left to do. I got to put the oil, the antifreeze, and the breather on it, stick the battery on there, and we'll be ready for a test fire. So hopefully this will be short-lived, and I'll bring you guys back in a minute. If the ice maker stops. See you in a few. Okay, well, here goes nothing. I've put the oil and the antifreeze in it. I got the battery hopefully charged up all the way. I did turn the key on a couple times to get it primed and check for fuel leaks, and I didn't see any, especially after what happened with the cold start on the Trans Am. I didn't want gasoline spraying everywhere, so let's hit the key and see if she cranks. Keep your fingers crossed. Well, Houston, we have a problem. Either my battery's too weak or I have missed a wire somewhere. I've got indicators on the dash, but it's not even activating the starter. So let me see if I can sort this out, and we'll bring you back here in just a minute if I get it figured out. See you in a few. You know, the funny thing about a 12-volt negative ground system, you got to have the ground hooked up to the engine. I had left, I'm not sure how well you can see this, these two ground wires coming off the firewall actually ground to this bolt onto the distributor housing. So I'm hoping that's all it is. This will be like take two. So let me put you back up on the camera stand here and we'll give this another go. Sorry for the shaky cam. And if it don't work this time, you might get to see me take a gigantic hammer to it. We'll see what happens then. So let's see what we got. Okay, it's acting like the battery's not got a full enough charge in it, so let me throw a little bit more charge in the battery, and then surely third time's the charm. I'll bring you back then. Stand by. Alright, I've got a little bit of charge in the battery. Let's see if this is going to work. It's got to warm up a little bit. Hopefully the choke will kick it back down here in just a minute. Sounds good though, and I've got decent oil pressure according to the gauge. I'm going to let it run here for a second, see if I can put some more antifreeze in it. Turn the heater on and get it filled up. Yes, he's chooching all that TV blaster and everything off the exhaust manifold. Coming down a little bit. Starting to warm up now. I don't see any leaks anywhere. It's kind of hard to tell with all the smoke coming off from the oil and stuff. Check underneath the oil pan real quick. Well, I'd say that's a success. We'll go over it one more time and check to make sure that the everything's not leaking, no oil, no antifreeze, heater hoses and stuff. I replaced all the heater hoses and everything on this thing too, just to make sure. Luckily, you can see them pretty good down here behind the firewall. I don't know if the light's making it better or worse, but this thing's got all sorts of connections up underneath the intake. The way it pushes the water through the cylinder head over into the intake, it actually runs water through it as well to heat it. So I'm going to let it run for another few minutes here and then check the oil and the water levels and stuff again. And if all goes well, maybe tomorrow we can take a test ride in it, kind of like Cutworm did in his Jeep. So y'all take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Yay!